Hello, my name is Coach Adrian, and I am a relationship expert. I help people from all over the world find happiness in love, repair broken relationships, and marriages that have derailed. And today's topic is to help you identify if your marriage is falling apart. What are the telltale signs, and what can you do about it to avoid having to reach out to me in the future because you're now going through a divorce? Marriages are hard. Relationships can be complicated if you don't have a solid foundation, if you don't have a clear plan, and if you're not pulling in the same direction as your partner. So don't worry, you're not the only one in this situation. I've helped a lot of people who have reached out to me prior to going through a divorce because they just felt like their marriages were on the ropes, and thankfully, in many cases, we've been able to turn things around because people were proactive. And if you're watching this video too, I commend you because you are being proactive, because you're actually actively searching for answers before reaching the point of no return. So what are some of the telltale signs? Well, first and foremost, if you are fighting like cats and dogs, if you are fighting about petty things all the time, there's probably a communication issue there, right? So it's normal for couples to have disagreements, but if those disagreements are heated and happen almost on a daily basis, then something is wrong and you need to take a step back to reevaluate what exactly is going on. If you are experiencing a total lack of sexual intimacy and one of the two parties is bothered by it while the other one is fleeing their responsibilities, something is probably wrong there. So oftentimes a lack of sexual attraction can be manifested because of a deep-rooted sense of unhappiness. So if you or your ex just constantly are turning away sex, it may be because you're unhappy in this marriage, and it's a red flag warning that things are not progressing in the right way and that you really need to reevaluate what is going on. If you're starting to create your own separate lives, if you feel completely disconnected to your partner, you each have your own goals, your own hobbies, your own social circle, and you're basically like roommates, then something is wrong as well. And you need to be able to take a step back and to acknowledge that something is awfully wrong and start the process of going from reflection to building a plan, taking action to make sure that you salvage things before it's too late. The worst thing you want to do is to point fingers and blame your partner. It takes two to tango, and if your marriage has derailed, it's also because you played a part. There are exceptions, there are always exceptions, especially in cases of addictions or mental health issues. But for the overwhelming majority of people, both parties are responsible for a relationship or a marriage that is quickly souring. And the best thing that you can do for your partner and for yourself is to first and foremost take accountability for your side of the issue. All right? Don't go looking to blame your spouse for what they're not providing you with or for what they're not doing. Try to first look in the mirror and understand what you can do better to salvage things, no matter what's going on. It starts with you. You have to be truthful. You have to be honest with yourself. And it's a lot harder sometimes than people would like to believe, right? Because it requires you acknowledging your imperfections. And it requires you sometimes not having the upper hand, right? And so if you start there, you will most likely reach out to your partner when discussing your issues from a place of compassion, from a place of love, from a place of understanding. And that can put your partner at ease. At least it can maximize the chances that your partner will be receptive to what you want to say. Sometimes your partner will blow up when you try to address some of these issues, even if you're doing it from your point of view, but at least you're giving yourself the best chance to reach them. They'll be surprised that you're not blaming them, and they'll actually listen because what you will say will most likely really resonate with them. Pick your time right. When you do decide to talk to your partner, to your spouse, make sure that it's not at the end of the day when they're exhausted and stressed coming home from work. Or make sure that it's not in the morning when they're on their way out to go to work and stressed about the day ahead. At the same time, don't pick up the phone in the middle of the working day if your partner is having a stressful afternoon or is dealing with issues. So when should you talk to your partner? When they're actually relaxed. When they feel like, they're open to dialogue. Maybe perhaps on a weekend, or perhaps right before they go to bed after they've been able to relax from after their day of work. So timing is everything. Also, to make sure that you catch them at the right time, and that you're not already in an argument, because when you're already in an argument, both sides are not listening to each other, and you're just more trying to defend yourself and to deflect taking accountability and responsibility rather than trying to find solutions together. So very important that you actually try to find solutions. Ultimately, from my experience, almost all relationships are salvageable if you take the right approach. If you are talking from a point of truthfulness and compassion, and you won't lose anything by being honest with your partner and acknowledging where you can improve and what you've observed about your own behaviors. Okay? If you are afraid to do that, if you're afraid that your words can be used against you because the relationship is now so toxic that you're afraid to give your partner the stick so that they beat you with it, reach out to me. Book a private coaching session. Let's address the issues together. Let's come up with a plan and timing that will actually work for you. You can reach out to me through my blog on the private coaching tab at withmyexagain.com. Leave your comments below, like my video, and don't lose hope. Don't lose hope. You are already ahead of the curve. By watching this video, you're being proactive, and that leads to good things. So I will be here for you, and I hope to speak to you soon. Take care.